as it cut off on me a couple of times as I'm now in a parking lot trying to find my automobile and record this at the same time. So I am leaving the screening of Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings. And let me start off first by saying, if you had concerns of this movie going into it, those concerns may be justified a little bit. It is action-packed for sure. I don't know how true it is to the character because I don't know much about the character. So it could be extremely true to the character. But if you liked Mulan, if you like the third act of Black Panther, if everybody remembers that act, this may be the movie for you. It is extremely CGI heavy. I want to say maybe no practical fights in the entire film, which unto itself is crazy to have a film like this with no practical fights in it. But it is a grand scale Marvel movie to the T. That's the best way to put it. Like, if you enjoy Marvel films, I don't see a reason why you would not like this one. But I could see people who maybe you weren't the biggest fan of Thor 2. If you weren't the biggest fan of Thor 2 or Iron Man 3, you may not like this one. Again, it's a lot of CGI in this movie. Man, it's a lot of CGI, way more than I expected out of a movie that's supposed to be about Kung Fu Master. The characters are pretty decent. One particular actress who I saw online was getting a lot of flack for her role in this film. She deserves it. Most of the jokes don't land the way they should. So if you are a fan of like Ant-Man and the way Ant-Man's humor was set up, this was kind of set up the same way, but just not executed as well. But again, if you're a fan of Marvel movies, you should enjoy this one. It is definitely a Marvel movie through and through. It's just, if you're not a fan of Marvel movies, if you're not a fan of big budget, big scale action, if you're not a fan of huge elements of CGI, this is not for you at all. Leave that alone. Go see something else if you're not a fan of those elements. If you are a fan of those elements, I think you'll like this movie. It's just a lot. It's a lot happening in this movie. And it's some tropes that if you're accustomed to dealing with Marvel, you're used to at this point. So it shouldn't surprise you. Their treatment of villains, things of that nature that everyone has always complained about, still exist in this film. But I think you'll have a good time if you're a Marvel fan. If you're not a Marvel fan, definitely skip this movie. But peace out. You'll hear a full review later on. Peace, people.